Hello, my dear listeners, and welcome back to the Kapeel Gupta Career PodShow. And today, I want to start with a very ordinary scene. A student wakes up in the morning with big dreams and a bigger to do list. He wants to study for an exam, improve his communication, learn a skill, update his resume, maybe message a mentor, and maybe even start that course he has been postponing for 3 months. But before he can begin, a very polished, very smart, very dangerous character enters the room. Not a villain in black clothes and not a monster, just one tiny sentence: I'll start tomorrow. And tomorrow is a very crowded place, my dear listeners. And that is where unfinished notes live, unread books live, unmade calls live, unstarted dreams live, and many careers quietly go to sleep. So today's topic is saying goodbye to excuses. And I want to make this episode personal, practical, and slightly uncomfortable in the best possible way. Because excuses are not always loud. Sometimes they come dressed like logic. And sometimes they come dressed like tiredness. And sometimes they come dressed like perfectionism, and sometimes they come dressed like I'm just waiting for the right time. So, beta, if success was waiting for the right time, then half the country would become successful after Monday. Hi, I'm Kapeel Gupta, career coach, life mentor, and founder of Study Abroad Academy. I empower students, parents, and conscious professionals to design a fulfilling life and career by aligning their minds, values, and aspirations. I do it with coaching, mindset work, and the game changing power of graphotherapy because students deserve more than just guidance, they deserve transformation. So let me tell you a story. There was a student named Arav. Bright boy, good heart, good intentions. Very sincere when talking. Dangerous only in one area: delay. He wanted to crack a competitive exam, improve his English, learn digital skills, become more confident, and make his parents proud. He had goals, he had notebooks, he had downloaded 3 productivity apps, he had even watched motivational videos at 2 a.m. with great commitment. But every time it was time to act, a new excuse would arrive. I'm not in the mood. I need a better plan first. Or I'll start after this festival. Or I should begin properly. Not like this. Today is already wasted. Let me start tomorrow. And the classic Indian favorite: once life becomes a little stable, then I'll focus. Months passed, and then one day his younger cousin asked him a simple question: Bhaiya, are you working on your dream or are you only talking about it? Now, that question hit harder than any motivational quote because that is what excuses do. They do not always stop us with drama, they stop us gently, politely, repeatedly. They make us feel busy without helping us move. And now let us be fair here. Not every delay is laziness. Not every struggle is an excuse. Some students are truly tired. Some are scared. Some are overwhelmed. And some are dealing with anxiety, pressure, financial stress, family expectations, or mental health battles. The World Health Organization says that 1 in 7 adolescents aged 10 to 19 experience a mental disorder, and depression, anxiety, and behavioral disorders are among the leading causes of illness and disability in this age group. So, before we attack ourselves, we must understand this clearly. Sometimes what looks like an excuse is actually pain that needs support. But here's the second truth: pain deserves compassion. Excuses do not deserve control. And that is the difference I want every listener to understand today. If you're struggling, ask for help. Rest if needed. Talk to someone. Take support. But do not build a home inside your hesitation. Do not start worshipping your delay as if it is wisdom, because excuses are expensive. They steal time, they steal confidence, they steal momentum. And the most painful part is this: they do not even look dangerous when they arrive. Excuses usually sound harmless. I need more clarity. I need the perfect resource. I need motivation first. I need one full free day. Or I'll start seriously from next month. That is why smart people are not safe from excuses. In fact, smart people sometimes make better excuses, more polished excuses, more intellectual excuses, or excuses with grammar. So, what is an excuse really? An excuse is often fear trying to sound reasonable. Fear of failure says, let me postpone so I do not have to face whether I'm good enough. Fear of discomfort says, let me wait for a better mood. Fear of judgment says, let me not begin until I can do it perfectly. And fear of uncertainty says, let me stay where I am, even if I'm unhappy. Excuses are rarely about the task itself, they're usually about the emotion attached to the task. A student says, I'm not studying because I'm lazy. Sometimes the deeper truth is, I'm scared I'll try and still not succeed. A young professional says, I have not learned a new skill yet because I have no time. Sometimes the deeper truth is, I do not want to feel like a beginner again. A career aspirant says, I'm still researching options. And sometimes the deeper truth is, I do not want to commit and then be responsible. So now let us bring this into an Indian career reality. Now, this is not soft time to keep delaying your growth. India's youth unemployment rate for ages 15 to 29 was 9.9% in 2025, according to the latest annual PLFS press note. Now, that means millions of young people are competing for jobs, opportunities, internships, and career progress. At the same time, the World Economic Forum says employers expect 39% of workers' core skills to change by 2030. In simple language, the world is moving fast, competition is real, and waiting without growing is no longer a harmless habit. It's a career risk. So when a student says, I'll build skills later, the market quietly says, I may not wait. Now, this is where Arav's story changed. One evening, after another unproductive day, he sat down and wrote all his excuses on one page. Not goals, excuses. The page looked like a comedy script. I need the right mood. I work better under pressure. I don't have the right environment. I first need confidence. I need to plan more. I'm not ready yet. And then he looked at the list and laughed. For the first time, he saw the truth. His excuses were not protecting him, they were trapping him. So he made one decision. He would stop asking, how do I feel? Before action. He would start asking, what is the next small step? That single shift changed his life. And that is one of the biggest secrets to saying goodbye to excuses. Do not fight the whole mountain, remove the next stone. Excuses love big tasks. Big tasks sound scary. Change my life, build my career, become confident, crack the exam, master communication. Of course, the mind gets overwhelmed, but the mind behaves differently when the task becomes smaller. Not study everything, just sit for 25 minutes. Not become fluent in English, just speak for 3 minutes today. Not fix my whole career, Just research one role properly, not become highly skilled. Just complete lesson one. Excuses hate clarity, and action loves clarity. And there's another important myth I want to break today. Many people think change happens when motivation comes. Now, that is not true. Change happens when repetition comes. A 2024 systematic review and meta analysis found that habit formation for many health related behaviors typically takes around 2 to 5 months, with median estimates often around 59 to 66 days. Not the famous magical 21 days people keep forwarding like family WhatsApp wisdom. That means consistency matters much more than emotional excitement. So, if you're waiting to feel ready, please hear me clearly. Readiness is often created by repetition, not by mood. Arav understood this slowly. He stopped making dramatic promises. He stopped writing timetables that looked like airport schedules. He made three simple rules. Every day, he would do one important thing before checking social media. Every day, he would complete one small action, even if his mood was bad. And every day, he would tell the truth about why he delayed. That third rule was the strongest. Because excuses survive in vagueness, truth kills vagueness. I was tired, may be true. I was scrolling reels for 90 minutes and then calling it tiredness is a deeper truth. I was confused, may be true, but I was scared to choose is the real truth. I had no time, may be true sometimes. I wasted the time I had because the task felt uncomfortable is often the real truth. Once you become honest, you become dangerous to your excuses. And now I know some of you listening are thinking, this sounds nice, but what if my situation is actually difficult? Then my answer is, of course, it may be difficult. Life is not a smooth road for everyone. Some of you are studying in pressure filled homes. Some of you are carrying family expectations. Some of you are facing money problems. And some of you are preparing for exams while watching peers get ahead. I'm not here to insult that struggle. I'm here to tell you something more powerful. You do not need ideal conditions to become stronger. You need honest conditions and small action. You may not control the whole environment, but you can still control one page, 1 hour, one skill, one application, one mock test, one conversation, and one attempt. And that is how excuses begin to lose their power. Not by one giant heroic moment, but by repeated acts of self respect. Every time you do what you said you would do, your identity changes a little. You stop seeing yourself as someone who only plans. You start seeing yourself as someone who moves. And that is why action is not only productive, it is psychological. It changes self belief. So, that is the real goodbye to excuses. It's not a speech, it's a pattern shift. So, let me make this very practical for every student and career aspirant listening today. If you want to say goodbye to excuses, do these three things. First, catch the sentence. The moment you say, I'll do it later, ask, why later? Not to shame yourself, to expose the excuse. Second, shrink the task. If the task feels too big, make it smaller until it becomes too easy to reject. Third, create proof. Every day, do one thing that gives you evidence that you are becoming reliable. A finished page, a solved set, a sent email, a recorded practice video, a completed lesson. Confidence is built from proof, not wishful thinking. And now, let us return to Aram one last time. 6 months later, his life was not perfect. He had not become a movie hero. He still had doubts. He still had off days. But something fundamental had changed. He no longer respected his excuses more than his goals. He no longer waited to feel perfect. He no longer introduced himself with plans. He introduced himself with action. That is growth. Not becoming fearless, but becoming less obedient to fear. So, as we come to the end of today's episode, I want to leave you with one thought. Excuses feel safe in the moment, but expensive in the long run. Action feels uncomfortable in the moment, but powerful in the long run. You're choosing every day which pain you want, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And please remember this, your future does not get built by the reasons you gave, it gets built by the actions you repeated. So here is your life changing call to action. For the next 7 days, do not promise to change your whole life. Just do one thing. Every morning, write down the one task you have been avoiding. Then finish the smallest possible version of it before the day ends. No drama, no excuse, no overthinking, just proof. And do this for 7 days, and you learn something very important. You're not as stuck as your excuses made you believe. And if you're listening to this episode and realizing that your excuses are not only about laziness, but also about career confusion, fear, and lack of direction, then do not stay trapped there. Sometimes what you need is not more pressure. Sometimes what you need is clarity. Reach out and let us decode your path together. This is Kapeel Gupta, and you're listening to the Kapeel Gupta Career PodShow. Say goodbye to excuses, say hello to action, and watch what your life begins to say back.